You are listening to the audio series Bride by Chance, an intriguing saga of love, betrayal, hope, and despair, only on the Ace FM with your host Aruna Jha and the creator and writer of this series, Manoj. In the last two episodes, we learned that Roshni was adopted by the Taneja family. The actual daughter of the family, Kanika, was engaged to an heir of the rich and powerful Kukreja family when she was a child. However, 15 years ago, that heir met with a car accident and became paralyzed from the waist down. Fearing the Kukreja's might, the Tanejas couldn't break off the engagement. Just before the day of the marriage, Kanika's mother, Purvi Taneja, reminded Roshni of the debt she owes to the family for the favors they had done to her, and dictated her to marry the paralyzed heir of the Kukreja family and save Kanika from a miserable future. Roshni then realized that what she thought was an act of benevolence for so long was actually a conspiracy hatched by the Tanejas 10 years ago to save Kanika and make Roshni a scapegoat. They had dealt their cards, and now it was her turn to play. Either she could tell everybody about the crookedness of the Tanejas, or docilely accept her fate and go on with the marriage. Let us find out what she did in the third episode of Bride by Chance, an atypical marriage. The ceremonial hall was gorgeously decorated and lit up. The aroma of rose petals made the ambience almost intoxicating. Every nook and corner was brandishing, mesmerizing artworks made of roses. A rosewater fountain in the center of the hall was entertaining the guests with haughty flamboyance. Despite all the extravagance, something was amiss. Like the abysmal emptiness in Roshni's heart. Wedding day. Perhaps the most important day in every girl's life. It takes months of preparation in selecting the best dress, matching shoes, the perfect makeup, the latest jewelry, so that she looks her best during the sacred ceremony. Every eye present at the event must be following, admiring, and worshipping her wherever she goes. Every man should covet her, and every woman must be jealous of her. Her Prince Charming should arrive in a golden chariot, sweep her off her feet, and carry her on his strong, muscular arms to their ceremonial bed and make sweet, never-ending love to her. But alas, nothing of that sort was awaiting Roshni. Everything in this wedding was borrowed for her. Her clothes, her shoes, her jewelry, even her groom. Anyways, she just wanted to go through this as soon as possible and get going with the rest of her miserable life. She dispassionately walked towards the ceremonial pavilion. Roshni could see none of her family members on the scene, but that was quite natural. Who wants to be a part of this farce? But where are the people from the groom's side? Maybe they're behind that pavilion? But no, there's nobody. Who's her groom? The pavilion was completely empty except for a wheelchair. What kind of joke is this? She had heard that Rajputs sometimes send their family sword in lieu of the groom during marriage. Sort of marriage by proxy, maybe? So since her would-be husband is a paraplegic, he just thought it would be a fun idea to send his wheelchair? If the Tanejas were conniving conspirators, The cockroaches seem to be serial sadists. Is there no end to her humiliation? The guests must be laughing at her. This must be the most peculiar marriage ever. Maybe the people from Guinness Records are lurking around somewhere. Anyways, just go through it, Roshni. Why? Why should I go through it? Am I a doormat? Why don't I just burn myself right now in that pyre and teach these people that they cannot just do whatever they want with me? I'm a human being, not a rug where they can wipe off their feet whenever they want. Calm down, Roshni. Your day will also come. Just go through it. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. The bride and groom kindly exchange the wedding ring and the ceremonial garland. Roshni's chain of thought was broken by the squeaky voice of the priest. On the pavilion beside the wheelchair, a rat-like priest was standing, pointing Roshni towards a ring and garland lying shamelessly on the wheelchair. The priest was confused too. The hefty fee seemed to have justified the abnormal instructions given to him. But now, after looking at Roshni, he was in two minds. What am I doing with this girl? She looks like an angel fresh from heaven, and I'm showing her the doors to hell? But really, I need to get my son in that English medium school, and it costs so much money. What if instead of giving me the second installment of my fee, they take the first one back? No way. The bride and groom kindly exchange the wedding ring and the ceremonial garland, the priest reiterated. In a haze, Roshni walked up the pavilion. She picked up the garland from the wheelchair and wore it in her own neck. Then she picked up the ring and put it on. Somebody from the Taneja family came from nowhere and handed her a ring. She gently put the ring down on the wheelchair. Maybe the same person handed over a garland to her. She hypnotically put the garland on the back of the wheelchair. Is this over? I now pronounce you husband and wife. So it was over. Roshni looked at her ring. This is the symbol marking the end of an era with the conspirators and beginning of an epoch with the sadists. She has paid off any debt that the Tanejas might have had on her. The repayment was done, perhaps with her life, but it was finally done. Now she has nothing to do with them anymore. No pretensions, no allegations, no obligations. She is at last free from them and doesn't want to see their faces anymore. But what next? To know what happens to Roshni next, listen to the 4th episode of this audio series, Bride by Chance, an intriguing story of love filled with surprising twists at every turn. So stay tuned with me, your host Aruna Jha, and the creator and writer of this series, Manoj, only on the Ace FM.